Welcome back to Footnotes and Folly, and to Hamlet. I am Pemberton. This is part 2. Hamlet's feigned madness has the whole court watching him. The king sets his old schoolfellows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to spy, and Polonius is sure the prince is merely lovesick for his daughter Ophelia. But Hamlet is cannier than any of them. When a troupe of players arrives, he sees his chance. He will have them act out a murder just like his father's, and watch the king's face. And in the still center of all this scheming comes the most famous 40 lines ever written, to be, or not to be, in which Hamlet, alone, weighs life against death, action against the terror of what may come after. It is the heart not just of the play, but of the whole human predicament. Let us go on.
The king, queen, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern in attendance enter a room in the castle. Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Besides the fact that we have greatly wanted to see you, our need for your help made us send for you so quickly. You have heard something of Hamlet's change. I call it that because neither his outward manner nor his inner self resembles what he was. I cannot imagine what, beyond his father's death, has so unsettled him that he no longer understands himself. I ask you both, since you were brought up with him from youth and are so close to his age and temperament, to stay here at court for a little while. With your company, draw him toward pleasure, and gather whatever you can from the occasion, whether some trouble unknown to us afflicts him, which, once revealed, might be within our power to remedy. Good gentlemen, he has spoken much of you, and I am sure there are no two men living to whom he is more attached. If you will show us such courtesy and goodwill as to spend some time with us, to serve and advance our hope, your visit shall receive thanks worthy of a king's remembrance. Both your majesties, by your sovereign power over us, could command your wishes more directly than ask them of us. We both obey, and here give ourselves fully and freely to your service, to be commanded at your feet. Thank you, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern. Thank you, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. I beg you to go at once to my much changed son. Some of you bring these gentlemen to where Hamlet is. May heaven make our presence and our efforts pleasant and helpful to him. Yes, amen. Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and some attendants leave. Polonius enters. The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, have happily returned. You have always been the father of good news. Have I, my lord? Be assured, my good sovereign, I hold my duty as I hold my soul both to my God and to my gracious king. And I think, unless this brain of mine no longer follows the track of policy as surely as it used to, that I have found the true cause of Hamlet's madness. Speak of that. That is what I long to hear. First admit the ambassadors. My news shall be the dessert after that great feast. Do them the honor yourself, and bring them in. Polonius exits. He tells me, my sweet queen, that he has found the head and source of all your son's disorder. I doubt it is anything other than the main cause, his father's death and our too hasty marriage. Well, we shall examine him. Polonius enters with Voltimand and Cornelius. Welcome, my good friends. Tell me, Voltimand, what news from our brother Norway? A most favorable return of greetings and wishes. At our first audience, he sent out orders to stop his nephew's levies, which he had thought were preparations against the Polack. But when he looked more closely, he found they were truly aimed against your highness. Grieved that his sickness, age, and weakness had been falsely used to mislead him, he ordered Fortinbras arrested. Fortinbras obeyed at once, received Norway's rebuke, and finally vowed before his uncle never again to attempt armed action against your majesty. At this, old Norway, overcome with joy, grants him 3,000 crowns a year and commissions him to use the soldiers he had already raised against the Polack. With this request, further shown here, he asks that it may please you to grant peaceful passage through your lands for this enterprise, under such terms of safety and permission as are written there. Voltimand gives a paper. This pleases us. At a more considered time we will read, answer, and think over this business. Meanwhile, we thank you for your well-performed labor. Go and rest. Tonight we will feast together. You are most welcome home. Voltimand and Cornelius leave. This business is well ended. My lord and madam, to explain what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night is night, and time is time, would be nothing but wasting night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness its limbs and outward ornaments, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. I call it mad, for what is defining true madness, but saying it is nothing else than madness? But let that pass. More substance with less art. Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad is true, it is true, it is a pity, and it is a pity it is true. A foolish turn of phrase, but away with it, for I will use no art. Let us grant then that he is mad. Now we must find the cause of this effect, or rather the cause of this defect, since this defective effect comes from a cause. So it remains, and the remainder is this. Consider, I have a daughter, while she is still mine, who in duty and obedience, mark this, has given me this. Now gather and infer. Polonius reads. To the heavenly one, and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That is a poor phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase. But you shall hear, these in her excellent white bosom, these, and so forth. Did this come from Hamlet to her? Good madam, wait a while, I will be faithful. Doubt that the stars are fire, Doubt that the sun moves, doubt truth itself to be a liar, but never doubt that I love. O dear Ophelia, I am poor at making verses. I have not the art to count my groans. But believe that I love you best, O most best. Farewell. Yours forever, most dear lady, while this body belongs to him, Hamlet. My daughter, in obedience, has shown me this, and more than that, she has told me all his advances as they happened, by time, means, and place. But how has she received his love? What do you think of me? As a faithful and honorable man. I would gladly prove so. But what might you have thought when I saw this hot love taking flight, as I perceived it, and I must tell you I perceived it before my daughter told me? What might you, or my dear Majesty your Queen here, have thought if I had acted like a writing desk or notebook, or winked my heart into silence, or looked at this love with idle eyes? What might you have thought? No. I went directly to work and spoke to my young mistress this way: Lord Hamlet is a prince above your station. This must not be. Then I gave her rules. She should shut herself away from his visits, admit no messengers, and receive no gifts. When she had done this and accepted the fruit of my advice, he, being rejected, to make a short tale, fell first into sadness, then into fasting, then into sleeplessness, then into weakness, then into lightheadedness, and by this decline into the madness in which he now raves, and for which we all grieve. Do you think this is the cause? It may be, it is very likely. Has there ever been a time, I would like to know, when I positively said, it is so, and it proved otherwise? Not that I know of. Take this from this, if this is otherwise. Polonius points to his head and shoulder. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hidden, even if it were hidden at the center of the earth. How may we test it further? You know, he sometimes walks for 4 hours together here in the lobby. So he does indeed. At such a time I will set my daughter loose to meet him. You and I will stand behind a tapestry and observe the encounter. If he does not love her, and if that love has not made him fall from reason, then let me be no adviser to a state, but keep a farm and drive carts. We will try it. Hamlet enters, reading. But look, here the poor unfortunate man comes, sadly reading. Go away, I beg you both, go away. I will speak to him at once. Please leave me. The king, queen, and attendants leave. How is my good Lord Hamlet? Well, God reward you. Do you know me, my lord? Extremely well. You are a fishmonger. Not I, my lord. Then I wish you were as honest a man as one. Honest, my lord? Yes, sir. To be honest, as the world now goes, is to be one man chosen out of 10,000. That is very true, my lord. For if the sun breeds maggots in a dead dog, that fine carrion fit for kissing, do you have a daughter? I do, my lord. Do not let her walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not the kind your daughter might conceive. Friend, watch that. What do you mean by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he did not know me at first. He called me a fishmonger. He is far gone, far gone. And truly, in my youth I suffered terrible extremes for love, very close to this. I will speak to him again. What are you reading, my lord? Words, words, words. What is the matter, my lord? Between whom? I mean the subject of what you are reading, my lord. Slander, sir. This satirical fellow says here that old men have grey beards, wrinkled faces, eyes that ooze thick amber and plum, tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, along with very weak legs. All of which, sir, though I strongly and firmly believe it, I do not think it honest to write it down so plainly. For you yourself, sir, would be as old as I am if you could go backward like a crab. Though this is madness, there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord? Into my grave? Indeed, that is out of the air. How full of meaning his answers sometimes are. Madness often hits on a kind of happiness that reason and sanity could not express so well. I will leave him and quickly arrange a meeting between him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I most humbly take my leave of you. You cannot take anything from me, sir, that I would more willingly part with, except my life, except my life, except my life. Farewell, my lord. These tedious old fools. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern enter. You are going to find the Lord Hamlet. There he is. God keep you, sir. Polonius exits. My honored lord. My dearest lord. My excellent good friends. How are you, Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz. Good lads, how are you both? Like ordinary children of the earth. Happy in this, that we are not too happy. We are not the topmost button on Fortune's cap. Nor the soles of her shoe? Neither, my lord. Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favours. Faith, in her private parts. In Fortune's secret parts. Oh, very true, she is a whore. What is the news? None, my lord, except that the world has grown honest. Then judgment day is near. But your news is not true. Let me question you more particularly. What have you, my good friends, done to deserve this from Fortune, that she sends you here to prison? Prison, my lord? Denmark is a prison. Then the world is one. A fine one, with many boundaries, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst. We do not think so, my lord. Then it is not one to you, for nothing is either good or bad except as thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison. Then your ambition makes it one. It is too narrow for your mind. Oh God, I could be shut inside a nutshell, and count myself a king of infinite space, if only I did not have bad dreams. Those dreams are ambition indeed, for the very substance of ambition is only the shadow of a dream. A dream itself is only a shadow. Truly, and I think ambition is so airy and light that it is only the shadow of a shadow. Then our beggars are the real bodies, and our monarchs and overreaching heroes are the beggars' shadows. Shall we go to court? By my faith, I cannot reason any more. We will attend you. No such thing. I will not rank you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you honestly, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the plain path of friendship, what are you doing at Elsinore? Visiting you, my lord, no other reason. Beggar that I am poor even in thanks, but I thank you. And surely, dear friends, my thanks are not worth even half a penny. Were you not sent for? Is this your own inclination? Is it a free visit? Come, deal honestly with me. Come, speak. What should we say, my lord? Anything, so long as it is to the point. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your faces that your modesty is not clever enough to hide. I know the good king and queen have sent for you. For what purpose, my lord? You must teach me that. But let me charge you by the rights of our fellowship, by the harmony of our youth, by the bond of our long-kept love, and by whatever dearer appeal a better speaker could lay on you, be plain and direct with me. Were you sent for or not? What do you say? No, then I have my eye on you. If you love me, do not hold back. My lord, we were sent for. I will tell you why. Then my guests will spare you from betraying yourselves, and your secrecy toward the king and queen will lose no feather. Lately, though I do not know why, I have lost all my cheerfulness and given up all my usual exercises. Indeed, my mood has grown so heavy that this beautiful frame, the earth, seems to me a barren headland. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave overhanging sky, this majestic roof studded with golden fire, appears to me nothing more than a foul and diseased gathering of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in ability! In form and movement, how exact and admirable! In action, how like an angel! In understanding, how like a god! The beauty of the world, the model of all animals. And yet to me what is this essence of dust? Man does not delight me. No, nor woman either, though by your smiling you seem to suggest it. My lord, there was no such thought in my mind. Then why did you laugh when I said man does not delight me? I was thinking, my lord, if you take no delight in man, what meager welcome the players will receive from you. We passed them on the road, and they are coming here to offer you their service. He who plays the king shall be welcome, his majesty shall have tribute from me. The adventurous knight shall use his sword and shield, the lover shall not sigh for nothing, the comic man shall end his part in peace, the clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are easily tickled, and the lady shall speak her mind freely, or the blank verse will limp for it. What players are they? The very ones you used to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city. How does it happen that they travel? Their settled home was better for both reputation and profit. I think their restraint comes from the recent change. Do they hold the same esteem they did when I was in the city? Are they still so followed? No, indeed, they are not. How is that? Have they grown rusty? No, their effort keeps its usual pace. But there is, sir, a brood of children, little hawks, who scream at the top of the debate and are tyrannically applauded for it. They are now the fashion, and they so attack the common stages, as they call them, that many men wearing swords are afraid of goose quills and hardly dare come there. What are they, children? Who supports them? How are they paid? Will they follow the profession no longer than they can sing? Will they not say later, if they grow into common players themselves, as they most likely will if their means are no better, that their writers wrong them by making them cry out against their own succession? Faith, there has been much trouble on both sides, and the nation thinks it no sin to drive them into controversy. For a while, no money was offered for a play unless the poet and the player came to blows over the question. Is that possible? Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains. Do the boys carry the day? Yes, they do, my lord. Hercules and his burden too. It is not so strange. My uncle is king of Denmark, and the same people who would have mocked him while my father lived now pay 20, 40, 50, even 100 ducats each for his portrait in miniature. By God's blood, there is something in this beyond the natural, if philosophy could only discover it. A flourish of trumpets sounds within. There are the players. Gentlemen, welcome to Elsinore. Give me your hands. Welcome has its proper show and ceremony. Let me greet you in this fashion, so that my outward kindness to the players, which I must show plainly, will not seem warmer than my welcome to you. You are welcome. That my uncle, father and aunt, mother are deceived. In what way, my dear lord? I am only mad northwest. When the wind is from the south, I know a hawk from a handsaw. Polonius enters. Good day to you, gentlemen. Listen, Guildenstern, and you too, one listener at each ear. That big baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clothes. Perhaps he has come back into them for the second time, since they say an old man is twice a child. I predict he has come to tell me about the players. Watch. You are right, sir. On a Monday morning it was indeed so. My lord, I have news to tell you. My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome. The actors have come here, my lord. Buzz buzz. On my honor. Then each actor came riding on his ass. The best actors in the world, whether for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scenes that cannot be divided, or poems without limit. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light, for both strict writing and free invention. These are the only men. O Jeth, judge of Israel, what a treasure you had! What treasure did he have, my lord? Why, one fair daughter, and no more, whom he loved exceedingly well. Aside. Still on my daughter. Am I not right, old Jetha? If you call me Jetha, my lord, I have a daughter whom I love exceedingly well. No, that does not follow. What follows then, my lord? Why, as by lot God knows, and then as you know, it came to pass as was most likely. The first stanza of the pious song will show you more. Look, here comes my shortening of all this. 4 or 5 players enter. Welcome, masters, welcome all. I am glad to see you well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend. Your face has grown fringed with a beard since I saw you last. Have you come to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By Our Lady, your ladyship is nearer heaven than when I last saw you, by the height of a high shoe. May God keep your voice from cracking, like a piece of bad gold inside the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We will go at it like French falconers, flying at anything we see. We will have a speech at once. Come, give us a taste of your skill. Come, a passionate speech. What speech, my lord? I heard you speak a speech for me once, though it was never acted, or if it was, not more than once, for the play, I remember, did not please the crowd. It was caviar to the general public. But as I judged it, and as others whose judgment in such matters outweighed mine judged it, it was an excellent play, well arranged in its scenes, written with as much restraint as craft. I remember someone said there were no spicy scraps in the lines merely to season the matter, nor anything in the phrasing that could accuse the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as it was sweet, and far more handsome than showy. One speech in it I especially loved. It was Aeneas' tale to Dido, especially the part where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it still lives in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see, the rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. No, that is not it. It begins with Pyrrhus, the rugged Pyrrhus, whose black armor, black as his purpose, resembled the night when he lay hidden in the ominous horse, now has that dreadful blackness smeared with a more terrible heraldry. From head to foot he is all red, horribly decorated with the blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and pasted on him by the burning streets, which lend a tyrannous and damned light to those vile murders. Roasted in wrath and fire, covered thick with clotted gore, with eyes like carbuncles, hellish Pyrrhus seeks old grandsire Priam. There, now you continue. My God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good judgment. Soon he finds him, striking 2 short at Greeks. His ancient sword, rebelling against his arm, lies where it falls, refusing command. Unequally matched, Pyrrhus drives at Priam, and in his rage strikes wide, but with the gust and wind of his savage sword, the weakened father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, bows its flaming top down to its base, and with a hideous crash takes Pyrrhus here prisoner. For look, his sword, which was descending on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed to stick in the air. So, like a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and neutral between his will and his act, did nothing. But as we often see before some storm a silence in the heavens, the clouds stand still, the bold wind speechless, and the earth below hushed as death, and then the dreadful thunder tears the sky, so after Pyrrhus' pause, awakened vengeance sets him to work again. Never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor, forged to last forever, with less pity than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out, you whore fortune! All you gods, in general council, take away her power, break all the spokes and rims from her wheel, and roll the round hub down the hill of heaven, as low as the fiends. This is too long. It shall go to the barber's, along with your beard. Please go on. He is fit only for a jig or a body tail, or else he sleeps. Go on, come to Hecuba. But who had seen the veiled queen? The veiled queen? That is good. Veiled queen is good. Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with tear-blinded eyes, a cloth on the head where the crown had lately stood, and for a robe, around her thin and overborne loins, a blanket snatched up in the alarm of fear. Whoever had seen this, with a tongue steeped in venom, would have pronounced treason against fortune's rule. But if the gods themselves saw her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport of chopping her husband's limbs with his sword, the sudden cry she burst into, unless mortal things do not move them at all, would have made the burning eyes of heaven flow with tears and stirred pity in the gods. Look, he has lost his color, and there are tears in his eyes. Please, no more. That is well. I will have you speak the rest of this for me soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well lodged? Do you hear me? Let them be well treated, for they are the summaries and brief chronicles of the age. After your death, you would be better off with a bad epitaph than with their bad report while you live. My lord, I will treat them according to their deserts. God's little body men much better than that. Treat every man according to his desert, and who would escape whipping. Treat them according to your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit there is in your generosity. Take them in. Come, sirs. Follow him, friends. We will hear a play tomorrow. Polonius exits with all the players except the first player. Do you hear me, old friend? Can you perform the murder of Gonzago? Yes, my lord. We will have it tomorrow night. If need be, could you study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines that I would write and insert into it? Yes, my lord. Very well. Follow that lord, and be sure you do not mock him. First player exits. My good friends, I will leave you until night. You are welcome to Elsinore. Good my lord. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit. Yes, then God be with you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue, what a peasant slave I am. Is it not monstrous that this actor here, only in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so fully into his imagined grief that his whole face grew pale, tears came into his eyes, madness showed in his look, his voice broke, and his whole body shaped itself to what he imagined? And all for nothing. For Hecuba. What is Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do if he had the real cause and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and split the ears of everyone with terrible speech. He would drive the guilty mad, terrify the innocent, bewilder the ignorant, and astonish the very powers of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull, muddy, spirited wretch, mope like John a dreams, empty and barren in my own cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king whose kingdom and most precious life were taken by a damned betrayal. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Who cracks my skull? Who plucks off my beard and blows it in my face? Who tweaks me by the nose, and calls me a liar down my throat as deep as my lungs? Who does this to me? Ha! By God's wounds, I would take it, for it must be true that I have the liver of a coward and lack the bitterness to make oppression painful. Otherwise, before now I would have fed all the kites in this region with that slave's guts. Bloody, filthy villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lustful, unnatural villain! Oh, revenge! Why, what a fool I am! This is wonderfully brave. I, the son of a dear murdered father, urged toward revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, pour out my heart in words and fall to cursing like some common drab, a kitchen slave. Shame on it! Disgusting! Work my brain. I have heard that guilty people, sitting at a play, have been struck so deeply by the skill of a scene that, then and there, they have confessed their crimes. For murder, though it has no tongue, will speak through some miraculous voice. I will have these players perform something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I will watch his face. I will probe him to the quick. If he so much as flinches, I know what I must do. Here I have seen may be the devil, and the devil has power to take on a pleasing shape. Perhaps because of my weakness and my melancholy, since he is very powerful over such troubled spirits, he deceives me in order to damn me. I will have proof that is more closely connected than this. The play is the thing in which I will catch the conscience of the king. Hamlet exits. King, Queen, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern enter. Can you not, by any hint or circumstance, find out why he puts on this disorder, disturbing all his peaceful days with such violent and dangerous madness? He admits he feels distracted, but he will not say what has caused it. Nor do we find him willing to be questioned. With a crafty kind of madness, he keeps his distance whenever we try to lead him towards some confession of his true condition. Did he receive you well? Very much like a gentleman. But only by forcing himself to behave so. He asked few questions, but answered ours freely. Did you try to draw him toward any amusement? Madam, it happened that we met some players on the road. We told him about them, and he seemed to feel a kind of joy at the news. They are here at court now, and I think they have already been ordered to perform before him tonight. That is very true. He begged me to ask your majesties to hear and see the play. With all my heart. It greatly pleases me to hear that he is inclined this way. Good gentlemen, encourage him further, and urge his purpose on toward these pleasures. We shall, my lord. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit. Sweet Gertrude, leave us too. We have secretly sent for Hamlet to come here, so that he may, as if by accident, meet Ophelia. Her father and I, as rightful watchers, will place ourselves where, seeing without being seen, we can judge their meeting plainly, and learn from Hamlet's behavior whether it is truly the sickness of love that makes him suffer so. I shall obey you. And as for you, Ophelia, I hope your beauty is the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. Then I may hope your virtues will bring him back to his usual self again, to the honor of you both. Madame, I wish it may be so. The queen exits. Ophelia, walk here. Gracious lord, if it please you, we will hide ourselves. Read from this book, so that the appearance of such devotion may explain why you are alone. We are often to blame in this. It has been proved too often that with the face of devotion and pious actions, we sweeten over the devil himself. It is too true. How sharply that speech lashes my conscience. A harlot's cheek, made beautiful with painted art, is not uglier beneath the paint than my deed is beneath my painted words. O heavy burden! I hear him coming. Let us withdraw, my lord. King and Polonius withdraw. Hamlet enters. To be or not to be, that is the question. Is it nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them? To die, to sleep, nothing more, and by that sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. That is an end devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perhaps to dream. Yes, there is the obstacle. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have cast off this mortal life, must make us pause. That thought is what makes calamity last so long. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's insults, the pangs of rejected love, the law's delay, the arrogance of office, and the kicks that patient merit receives from the unworthy, when he could settle his account himself with a bare dagger? Who would bear these burdens, groaning and sweating under a weary life, if not for the dread of something after death, that undiscovered country from whose boundary no traveller returns? That fear confuses the will, and makes us rather bear the evils we have than fly to others we know nothing of. Thus conscience makes cowards of us all. Thus the natural colour of resolution is sickened over with the pale cast of thought, and undertakings of great strength and importance turn aside because of this consideration, and lose the name of action. Quiet now. The fair Ophelia. Nymph, in your prayers, remember all my sins. Good my lord, how has your honour been these many days? I humbly thank you. Well, well, well. My lord, I have keepsakes of yours that I have long wanted to return. Please take them now. No, not I. I never gave you anything. My honoured lord, you know very well you did, and with them came words so sweetly breathed that they made the things richer. Now that their perfume is gone, take them back, for to a noble mind, rich gifts become poor when the giver proves unkind. There, my lord. Ha ha! Are you honest? My lord? Are you beautiful? What does your lordship mean? That if you are honest and beautiful, your honesty should have no dealings with your beauty. Could beauty, my lord, have better company than honesty? Yes, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner turn honesty into a pander than the strength of honesty can turn beauty into its own likeness. This was once a paradox, but now the times prove it true. I loved you once. Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so. You should not have believed me. Virtue cannot so graft itself onto our old nature that we lose the taste of that nature. I did not love you, and I was even more deceived. Go to a nunnery. Why would you give birth to sinners? I am reasonably honest myself, and yet I could accuse myself of such things that it would have been better if my mother had never borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences ready at my command than I have thoughts to contain them, imagination to shape them, or time to carry them out. What should fellows like me do crawling between earth and heaven? We are all complete scoundrels, believe none of us. Go your way to a nunnery. Where is your father? At home, my lord. Then let the doors be shut on him, so he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Oh, sweet heavens, help him! If you marry, I will give you this curse as your dowry. Be as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, and still you will not escape slander. Go to a nunnery, go. Farewell. Or if you must marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell. O heavenly powers, restore him. I have heard enough about your paintings too. God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You dance, you mince your steps, you lisp, you give God's creatures pet names, and pretend your wantonness is innocence. Enough. I will have no more of it. It has made me mad. I say we will have no more marriages. Those already married, all but one, shall live, the rest shall remain as they are. To a nunnery, go. Hamlet exits. Oh, what a noble mind is overthrown here. The eye, tongue, and sword of courtier, soldier, and scholar, the hope and flower of this fair state, the mirror of fashion and the model of noble form, the one observed by all observers, utterly, utterly fallen. And I, the most dejected and wretched of ladies, who drank the honey of his musical vows, now see that noble and sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blooming youth blasted by madness. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen, and now to see what I see. King and Polonius enter. Love. His feelings do not move that way. And what he said, though it lacked order a little, was not like madness. There is something in his soul over which his melancholy broods, and I fear that what hatches and breaks forth from it will be dangerous. To prevent that, I have made this quick decision. He shall be sent at once to England to demand our neglected tribute. Perhaps the sea, different countries, and changing sights will drive out the settled thing in his heart, on which his mind keeps beating until it makes him unlike himself. What do you think of it? It will do well. But still I believe the origin and beginning of his grief sprang from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you think it fitting, after the play let his queen mother speak with him alone and urge him to reveal his grief. Let her be direct with him, and if you please, I will be placed within hearing of their whole conversation. If she cannot discover it, send him to England, or confine him wherever your wisdom thinks best. It shall be so. Madness in great people must not go unwatched. They exit. Hamlet enters a hall in the castle with some players. Speak the speech I ask you exactly as I recited it to you, lightly and clearly on the tongue. If you shout and chew the words, as many actors do, I would rather have the town crier speak my lines. And do not have the air so much with your hand. Use everything gently. Even in the torrent, storm, and whirlwind of passion, you must find a self-control that gives it smoothness. It offends me deeply to hear aloud, weak-headed fellow tear passion into rags and split the ears of the groundlings, who mostly understand nothing but wordless shows and noise. I would have such a man whipped for overdoing termagant, he out-Herods Herod. Please avoid it. I promise your honor. Do not be too tame either, let your own judgment teach you. Fit the action to the word, and the word to the action, always taking care not to overstep the modesty of nature. Anything overdone misses the purpose of acting, whose aim, from the beginning until now, has been to hold a mirror up to nature, to show virtue its own face, scorn its own image, and the age itself its true form and impression. If a thing is overdone, or performed too sluggishly, it may make the ignorant laugh, but it will grieve those with judgment, and the opinion of one such person must outweigh a whole theatre of the rest. I have seen actors, and heard others praise them highly, who, without speaking like Christians or moving like Christian, pagan, or even human beings, strutted and bellowed so badly that I thought some apprentice of nature had made men and made them poorly. They imitated humanity so abominably. I hope we have corrected that fairly well among us, sir. Correct it completely. And let those who play your clown say no more than is written for them. Some of them will laugh themselves, to make a few empty-headed spectators laugh too, while some necessary point of the play is being considered. That is villainous and shows a pitiful ambition in the fool who does it. Go, get ready. The players leave. Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern enter. Well, my lord, will the king hear this piece of work? And the queen too, and immediately. Tell the players to hurry. Polonius exits. Will you two help hurry them along? We will, my lord. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern leave. Ho there, Horatio. Horatio enters. Here, dear lord, at your service. Horatio, you are as just a man as any I have ever known. Oh, my dear lord. No, do not think I flatter you. What advancement could I hope for from you, who have no income except your good spirits to feed and clothe you? Why flatter the poor? No, let the sugared tongue lick absurd pomp, and let knees bend where profit may follow fawning. Do you hear me? Since my soul became master of its own choice, and could distinguish among men, it has chosen you for itself. You have been one who, suffering everything, seems to suffer nothing, a man who has taken fortune's blows and rewards with equal thanks. Blessed are those whose passion and judgment are so well mixed that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to play whatever note she pleases. Give me the man who is not passion's slave, and I will carry him in my heart's core, yes, in the heart of my heart, as I do you. Enough of that. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene in it comes close to what I told you about my father's death. I beg you, when that scene begins, watch my uncle with your whole soul. If his hidden guilt does not break out in one speech, then the ghost we saw was damned, and my thoughts are as foul as Vulcan's forge. Watch him carefully. I will fasten my eyes on his face, and afterward we will join our judgments about how he appeared. Very well, my lord. If he steals anything while this play is being performed and escapes detection, I will pay for the theft. They are coming to the play. I must act foolish. Go take a place. A Danish march and flourish sound. The king, queen, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others enter. How is our cousin Hamlet? Excellent in faith. I live on the chameleon's food. I eat air, stuffed with promises. You cannot fatten capons that way. I have nothing to do with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine. No, nor mine now. My lord, you once acted at the university, you say? I did, my lord, and was thought a good actor. What did you perform? I played Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me. It was a brutish part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Are the players ready? Yes, my lord. They wait upon your patience. Come here, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me. No, good mother. Here is metal more attractive. Oh, do you notice that? Lady, shall I lie in your lap? Hamlet lies down at Ophelia's feet. No, my lord. I mean, may I rest my head upon your lap? Yes, my lord. Did you think I meant country matters? I think nothing, my lord. That is a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs. What is, my lord? Nothing. You are merry, my lord. Who, I? Yes, my lord. O God, you're only maker of jigs. What should a man do but be merry? Look how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died not 2 hours ago. No, it is twice 2 months, my lord. So long? Then let the devil wear black, for I will have a suit of sable. O heavens, dead 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Then there is hope that a great man's memory may outlive him by half a year. But by Our Lady he must build churches, or else he will be forgotten like the hobby horse whose epitaph is, for oh, the hobby horse is forgotten. Trumpets sound. The dumb show enters. A king and a queen appear very lovingly, embracing each other. The queen kneels and seems to make vows to him. He raises her and rests his head upon her neck, then lies down on a bank of flowers. Seeing him asleep, she leaves. Soon a man enters, takes off the king's crown, kisses it, pours poison into the king's ears and exits. The queen returns, finds the king dead, and acts with passionate grief. The poisoner enters again with 3 or 4 mutes, seeming to mourn with her. The dead body is carried away. The poisoner woos the queen with gifts. She seems reluctant and unwilling for a while, but in the end accepts his love. They exit. What does this mean, my lord? Ay, Mary, this is seeking mischief, it means harm. It seems the show gives the subject of the play. Prologue enters. We shall know from this fellow. Players cannot keep secrets. They will tell everything. Will they tell us what this show meant? Yes, or any show you show him. If you are not ashamed to show it, he will not be ashamed to tell you what it means. You are wicked, you are wicked. I will watch the play. For us and for our tragedy, bowing here to your mercy, we beg you to listen patiently. Is this a prologue, or the inscription on a ring? It is brief, my lord. As a woman's love. A king and a queen enter. 30 full times has Phobos' cart gone around Neptune's salt sea and Tellus rounded earth, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed light have traveled around the world 12 times 30, since love united our hearts, and Hymen joined our hands together in most sacred bonds.
And there we pause again. The trap is set. The players will perform tonight, and Hamlet and his one true friend Horatio will watch the king for the flicker of guilt that will prove the ghost spoke true. Next time, in part 3, the play strikes home, and the long-delayed violence finally breaks loose in a chapel, and in a bedchamber, with terrible consequences. Mind the footnotes, and beware the folly.